Great morning, great morning, everybody. Great morning, Facebook, YouTube, and IG. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and knock this out. Oh, I didn't know you could do this. Oh, this is nice. Okay, then. I love it. I was wondering how I was going to do that. Oh, my goodness. Great morning, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Ooh, y'all, I got some. Listen, let me tell y'all something. God is so amazing and so incredible. You guys, you got to know that He is working on your behalf. He is working on your behalf. And I tell you, when He gets started, baby, He does not stop. Okay? All right, y'all. Let me see. Okay. All right, y'all. Hey, great morning, everybody. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. I've got three different devices going because I've got to figure some stuff out. But listen, this is what I want you to know. We doing it. We doing it. We doing it. And that's the most important thing. Um, I'm running late today, so I'm not going to be on long. But baby, this word that the Lord gave me is a strong and powerful word. It is a strong and powerful word. Um, Great morning, Phoenicia. Hey, gorgeous. How are you? So good to see you joining us on YouTube. Let me do this. Let me share on IG. And you all do me a favor, share the broadcast, in a group where it makes sense. Hold on. There we go. All right. Great morning, Christina. How are you, my hometown girl? So good to see you. So good to see you. So, you guys, probably for the last 2 weeks, there's been lots of changes happening in my life. Hey, my brother, I love you. I'm gonna call you today because we gotta talk. It'll probably be later though. Um, Thank you so much for what you did. Okay. So, you all, one of the things that I've noticed in the past, I guess I'll say, um, well, in the month of November, let's say in the month of November, I told you that this was the month of new. God was doing the new thing, right? And clearly He has been doing that. But this is what I want you to understand. In the midst of the new thing, there are some old things getting shut down. And our tendency, because when those old things get shut down, is to begin to feel some type of way. Don't feel some type of way because old stuff is getting shut down. It must be shut down for the new to spring forth fully. It must be shut down for the new to spring forth fully, not spring forth because it's going to start springing, but in order for it to spring forth fully, there are things that have to be shut down, relationships that have to end, situations that have to change, situationships that have to take sale. Um, all of these things have to happen. It must happen. When it does not, you're going to see limited progression. You're going to see limited progression. And it's time for us not to operate in the limited, but to see the full progression of what God is doing. It's time for us to see the full progression of what God is doing. Now, we can choose because God is a gentleman. He's always going to be a gentleman, and He's going to, go with us. Like what we gonna do, what we gonna do. But He would desire for us to live in and operate in this full expression, the full the full the fullness of what's springing forth. It's going to be challenging because not only are you going to be tempted to feel some type of way about the new things that must be let go, that must be closed out, that must be shut down. This is the other thing. You're going to try to bring some of the old stuff into this new, and it's not going to work. And it's going to create a level of frustration that will cause you to potentially quit or get quiet. Okay. When you try to bring that old into the new, it's not going to work. It's going to create a level of frustration that will either cause you to quit or get quiet. Quit or get quiet, right? Now, you may say, well, what's the problem with, me getting quiet? I'm just processing everything. The problem is that you're not declaring anything. See, in order for the fullness of this expression to come forth, what God is doing in this season, you've got to declare it, speak it out your mouth, out loud. You've got to keep it in front of you. You've got to say it daily, multiple times in the day, so that it stays in your consciousness that that's what's happening. This is what's done. This is done. This is done. This is done. Whatever that is. Now, yes, God is shifting you, realigning you, moving you, but he's working, and he's working for your good. The beautiful thing about this time and this season is this. This is the time when God will let you know what some things feel like, what some things feel like. Now, anybody who's followed me for any length of time know I tell y'all quickly, listen, I do not like cleaning. I don't like cleaning. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I don't like cleaning. When I get started cleaning, and it may not seem like it, but because I have this stickler, because if I'm going to do it, it's got to be done a certain way. This kind of OCD that I had to shut down when I physically could not do those things. Like I could not do it. Like health wise, time wise, I could not do it. Right. So I had to kind of shut those things down. But let me tell you something. So yesterday we're cleaning, right? We're getting ready. We started having services here at the house. So I'm like, Lord, right? Hey Keith, how you doing, man of God? Um, there were some things that like were bothering my spirit that I knew needed to be done. Like, so listen, I start cleaning. Next thing I know, I'm washing walls. Listen to me, y'all. I'm washing walls. I'm taking stuff down. I'm moving stuff over. Like I don't know how to do it without that, and I hadn't felt like doing it physically or mentally, and so in a long time. So the fact that I even had the energy, that I had the mind to clean says something. Look, when you go into the new, you got to create new environments, new situations. Like God is trying to get you to set up what is your ideal functional environment as much as possible. As much as possible. You can't control everything, but there are some things that you can control. What you can control, he wants you to control. Okay? What you can control, he wants you to control. So yesterday, that was me. That was me. That was me. That was me. Listen, I was on a roll. I'm so grateful for my husband. My husband is amazing, y'all. Listen, that man is amazing. When I tell you he's amazing, I mean amazing. All caps, bold, underlined, exclamation marks, the bold, red, big exclamation marks. Okay, he's amazing. So as we're working and we're, doing this together, because the truth is, in the past, we didn't do it together. Okay. In the past, we didn't do it together. He did stuff when he did stuff. I did stuff when I did stuff, but we did not do stuff together when it came to, like things around the house. And what God has done is put us on the same page at the same time and has allowed us to begin to do things together. So now we are on one accord. That one accord is key because this new thing that God is doing, it requires both of us to be on the same accord, both of us to operate in a supernatural level of grace, both of us to be patient with ourselves, each other, the girls, our situations, and it's working. Is it uncomfortable? Yes, because it's taken a real tight space to get us here. But the tight space has been a blessing. Everything is working the way God ordained it to work. The pieces are coming together in a way that I don't think either one of us could like see in our mind's eye. Like, okay, I don't know how this is going to work, God. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, I'm going to need you to do it, and I'm going to need you to do it quickly. So what God did in the midst of this is changed me. So he had to shift me and show me so that he could do this new thing that he desires to do. You all, when God wants to shift you, he will first show you, and you will not like some of the things that you see. But that's important. It's important for you to not like it. It's important for you to be uncomfortable because it allows you to make the necessary changes and shifts. It's going to require extraordinary transparency. Extraordinary transparency. Or you're going to have to be super transparent. Okay. And I'm not saying you got to be super transparent with the world, but you got to have some people in your life, at least one person that you can be super transparent with so that you can hear yourself say some things out loud. Hold on, y'all. So you can hear yourself say some things out loud so you hear how that sounds. Because have you ever said something and when you said it out your mouth, you was like, oh, that's dumb. I can't believe this is what I was thinking, right? You're going to have to say some things out loud. It's going to allow you to hear your thoughts out loud so that you can address them. It's going to let you hear some things out loud so that you can address them. Hey, Tim. God is using you. Praise God. Praise God. Because, Tim, let me tell you something. This thing that God is doing in this season, this is for our next. God is trying to get us to our next, and our failure to grow, our failure to change, our failure to recognize what God is doing will cause us to miss out on this next thing God is trying to do in our lives. And y'all, you don't want to miss it. You don't, not at all. You don't want to miss it. So, God had me do a Pips Praise and Profits reboot. So starting in about 2016, I started trading, right? Started trading. At the end of 2016, I started a group called Pips Praise and Profits, where we got together at 4 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time and we traded, right? I help people set up their meta traders. I help people learn how to set up their charts, put their indicators on, read the charts, make decisions of when to go in to a trade, when to come out, when to buy, when to sell based on the indicators, right? So I started doing this and I ended up dealing with people from all around the world who wanted to trade, who were wanting to learn, but they were not getting what they needed in order to do it. So I just began to share what I knew. I was not an expert. I never claimed to be an expert. I shared what I knew. Fortunately, what I knew was enough for us to make some money, and to help some people get started. So in the midst of it, there was a trauma that occurred in the company that I was with. There was a trauma that occurred in the company that I was with. And I left the company. I started trading on my own, but that trauma carried over. Okay. The trauma carried over. So I ended up stopping that and I stopped trading for a long time. then I would think about it, and I would try to trade, but then I'd stop. Um, this last month, this month, God said, I need you to do a Pips Praise and Profits reboot. I need you to do a reboot. I started trading again a little bit, kind of off and on. It was not my focus. Let me say that, right? But he's made it my focus. He's made me really focus on trading. So I started the reboot group. If you guys have any interest in learning how to trade, and trading, you've seen it in movies, The Wolf of Wall Street, things like that. You saw them trading, right? They trade. They're corporate traders. They're people who trade for banks and financial institutions, and they do that as their profession. But the market has been opened up so that ordinary people like you and I don't have to have $1 million to trade. $7 trillion a day flows through the foreign exchange market. $7 trillion a day. 7 trillion, right? So there's something in there for you, right? So I started the group Pips Praise and Profits Reboot. If you guys want to be a part of it, you want to find out about trading, learn something about trading, this is the time to do it. With what's going on with our presidential shift, with what's going on with our economy, with what's going on with what's coming down the line, because there's some things coming down the line that are going to affect businesses, brick and mortars, okay? And you're going to need streams of income. Remember, at the beginning of the month, I talked about if you were in the wilderness, God would give you a path. And if you were in the desert, he would give you streams. Okay. So if you want to be a part of this group, put reboot in the comments, put reboots in the comments, and DM me, direct message me, and tell me that you want to be a part of it. Now, I'm telling you this for a reason. Okay. The title of today's live is Don't Let It Make You Quit or Quiet. Don't let it make you quit or quiet. Good morning, Brother Dale. How you doing, man of God? Good to see you. So in doing this, in starting the group back up, or creating the new group, rebooting the group, I had to face and deal with the trauma. I had to face and deal with my fear, trauma, then my fear, right? My fear of failure, my fear of disappointing people, my fear of not being able to be successful, my fear of looking crazy doing it, my fear of someone saying to me what was said to me that created my trauma, which was, who do you think you are to teach anyone this? All of those things coming together, right? And yet, I know the mandate. When you know God's mandate for your life, you are responsible. You are responsible for fulfilling it. But you cannot fulfill it in your old traumas. You cannot fulfill it in those old fears. You cannot fulfill it playing safe. You cannot fulfill it without opening up your mouth. You cannot fulfill it if you quit. We have to make the necessary adjustments in us for this journey, for this next, right? So we started the reboot. I made the group. The group grew. Last time I looked, I started it the other day, last week. I don't even know what day last week I started it, but I started it last week. And the group already has 35 people in it. Last time I looked, it was 35 people, right? Now I'm gonna tell y'all what happened when God told me to do it the last time. When God told me to do it the last time, we started out, it was a few of us, right? Like a handful, like 3 or 4 of us that would get up and trade. Okay. Within 2 weeks, there were hundreds of people in the group. Within 4 weeks, there were over 1,000 people in the group. There would be hundreds, like over 100 people on the line. It got so bad that the Zoom wouldn't hold, the regular Zoom that I had wouldn't hold all the people. So I had to upgrade the Zoom to hold the people who were coming on. And we would praise God, trade, I would prophesy. Like it was a whole service, right? While we're trading. And it was so important. And this is why it was so important, y'all. Listen, in order for you to achieve what it is that God has for you, you have to get yourself in the emotional state where those things reside. Those things are already there. Every blessing that God has for you is already there. You have to get to it. It's not having to get to you. You have to get to it. There are things that you've got to work on in you that will allow you to get there. You have to get your mind right, get your emotional state right. There are just some things that you've got to do in order to get to where your blessings reside, because they're already at the address. You're just not there. Your blessings are already at the address. You're just not there. So in order for you to get to it, you must change. You must grow. You have to. You have to. A failure to do so results in you being stuck, stagnant, and stinking. Stuck, stagnant, and stinking. Because if you know anything about water, if you're stuck, nothing's moving. And in water, when water doesn't move, it gets stagnant. And stagnant water stinks. That means that your life will stink. It's going to stink. You got to make the changes. You got to make the adjustments. You got to make the shifts. Those things are necessary. They're necessary. They're necessary for you to become who you must become to receive what God already has for you. So let me just use me as an example. I'm just going to talk about me, if that's okay. Okay. Yes, Brother Dale. So let me talk about me. Coming into our marriage, I began to declare all the things I would and would not do. This is what I will do. This is what I won't do. Now, if you're looking for somebody that's going to do this, then I'm not the person. Okay. Listen, I call myself being very upfront, being very real, right? Telling what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm not going to do. I'm not doing this, right? Again, rooted in my trauma. My decisions weren't based on my love. They were based on my trauma response, my fear response. So that's what I said. I said what I said. I'm going to stand on the 10 toes down. What? You can't make me do nothing. And if you try to make me do something, I'm going the opposite direction, because you are not, no person, not now one, is going to make me do anything. You're not going to make me. What? But God, in order for me to get to what I desired, and I was real clear on what I desired a marriage full of love, laughter, romance, intimacy, just enjoying each other. I couldn't get there the way I was. I couldn't get there. There was no way that I could have what I wanted showing up the way I was showing up. No way. It was not possible. It was not possible, because I was too focused on me. I was too focused on me to get that. I was too focused on what I was and was not. I was too focused on proving that you can't make me. You understand? I don't know. Maybe y'all have never been there. Maybe you've never encountered anyone like that, but I'm just talking about me, y'all. I'm talking about me. I know what I'm doing. I've got to do this. This is my assignment. I got to do this. Listen, so what God did was he changed things. God said, okay, you're not going to just do this. So let me help you out. The ministry that I had, that I was faithful to, that was impacting lives, it was growing, I had to shut it down. God said, shut it down. There were several things that I was doing that God made me stop doing so that he could realign me. Because you ain't listening, okay? You're not getting it. So I had to stop some things. God stopped some, God made me stop, right? God made me stop. And then there were things that he made me do that I didn't want to do. And if you've ever been in a battle with God, a tug of war with God, an argument with God, you know that he's going to win, right? I'm just telling y'all, I talk bad, even to God. I talk bad. I'm like, listen now, God, I'm not doing that. Why are you always trying to make me do stuff I don't want to do? Why do I always have to be the one? Why do I have to? Why can't somebody else do it? And let me tell y'all something. Because I'm so real with God, he real with me. I don't know how God talks to you. He might talk to you like, my child, what I'm doing is for thine own good. If you will but listen to me, then you will experience the blessings that I have in store for you. That's not how he talks to me. Okay. That's not how he talks to me. He's like, look, do what I said. I'm not doing it. Oh, you're not going to do it. Oh, okay. Oh, you just going to not listen. Well, it's not that I'm not listening. Well, if you're not doing it, you're not listening because you're not applying it. Well, but God, and then I do it. So, as he changed me, listen to me, women, listen to me, men, as I allowed God to change me and those things I said I would not do, it changed my marriage. At the same time, he's working with my husband. I just wanted him to work with him. I didn't want him to work with me. I didn't want him to work with me. I just wanted him to work with him. Just work with him, fix him, because he's the problem. Fix him. He's the problem. God said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You are a problem also. So he began to change me. He began to break some old things off of me. He allowed me to find the joy in doing things again, the joy in cooking, the joy, So now I'm wanting to cook. I'm wanting to clean. I'm wanting to do things, and I want to do them not just because they need to be done. I want to do them because I love my husband. I love my grandbabies, and I want them to have a certain life. I want them to have a certain experience. I want it. I'm doing things from a place of love and not obligation. Doing things from a place of love and not just obligation creates a different energy. See, you can do the same thing, but do it out of obligation and it falls flat. You can cook a meal out of obligation and it'll taste good. It'll be all right. But when you cook a meal out of love, that love is felt. Why? Because our emotions are energy. And when we do things, that energy is transferred into whatever we are doing. So when you cook out of obligation, it provides sustenance, right? When you cook out of love, it provides nourishment. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you? And some of us have been doing things from the wrong motive. Our motive was wrong. If your motive is wrong, it's not going to produce to the full capacity. And you're going to be frustrated because you seem to be doing it, but it's not producing. That's because you're doing it from the wrong motivation. Your energy is wrong when you're doing it. See, life is more than just about doing the thing. It's about how we do what we do. And that's what you got to remember. So in the midst of the change, suddenly, everything's changed in our relationship. Everything's changed. When I tell you everything's changed, everything's changed. When I tell you that my love for my husband has grown all the more. I want to be with him. I want to do things with him that normally he would ask me to do, and I'd be like, nah, I'm good, right? I want to do things that I myself would not necessarily choose to do, but he likes it, and I'm starting to enjoy it. You understand? Y'all, listen to me. This is why you can't let the frustration that you feel, you can't let the stretch that you feel, you can't let the challenge that you feel cause you to quit or get quiet. No, you declare what God has said. You declare what you desire and not what you see. The reason you keep seeing the same thing is that's what you keep saying. You keep saying, I'm broke. I'm struggling. I ain't got no money. I don't know how this is going to happen. How it's going to happen is not your business. It's not your job to figure out how. It's your job to declare it's done. That's your job. Make the declaration. Declare it. Believe it. Stand on it 10 toes down. So God's challenge to me has been, will you stand on what you believe and what you desire 10 toes down the way you stood 10 toes down on the fact that you wasn't going to clean? That you wasn't going to cook. You wasn't doing all that. Can you stand on what you desire 10 toes down the way you stood 10 toes down on that? Can you make that statement clear the way you made the other ones clear? Oh, you was quick to say that. Change is necessary for this new. And if you fail to change, you're going to fail to experience the full springing forth that God is trying to do. And you're not going to get to the next. You're going to be where you are. It's going to look a little different, but you're still going to be where you are. In order to get what it is that you desire, you are going to have to change. Stop looking at everybody else and what they need to do. Shift your focus and let it be singular in terms of change and who needs to change, and let that focus be on you. Do it though from a place of, God, I desperately need what you have for me. And when I say what you have for me, I'm not just talking about material things. I'm talking about who you need to become in order for you to fully experience it. Look, I told you I wasn't going to be out here long. I'm over my time. But listen, I'm telling you, if you're ready for something new, it requires action on your part, right? This month, there are two things that I'm doing, right? One is the Pips, Praise, and Profits reboot. And if you want to participate, put reboot, DM me, send me the message. The other is this health. Y'all, I've got 25 pounds more to lose. I've lost 25. I've got 25 more I'm going to lose. And if you want to join me on the journey, maybe you're not trying to lose 25 pounds. Maybe you're just trying to increase your energy level, whatever that is for you. Listen, we're going to do it together. We're going to do it together. And if that's you, put health in the comments or DM me health. If you want the reboot, the Pips, Praise, and Profits reboot and health, put reboot and health. And I'm going to tell y'all something. A part of trading is your physical. It's your mental, your emotional, and your physical, right? That's the majority of it. That's the majority of it. Those things. So there's some things that God needs us to do with our bodies that are going to allow us to fulfill our assignments. And failure to do it will hold us back, right? We're going to deal with some unnecessary physical things that we don't have to if we just do what he needs us to do. So y'all listen, we're doing it. We're doing it. I'm doing it. Y'all doing it? And what are you doing? I'm determined before December 31st, to impact the lives of 1,000 people with trading, to introduce them to it, to help take some of the fear out, and to show them what's possible. 1,000 people by the end of this year, December 31st, 1,000. Seems like a lot, but I know what God said. And because God said it, that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing it because I want to see us win. I want to see us win. God is trying to prepare his people for what's coming. Y'all, and there's something coming. There's something coming, and it's huge. You need this skill set. And if you've done it before and you're scared, it's time to overcome the fear. It's time to overcome the trauma. It's time to stop living from a place of trauma and start living from a place of triumph, where you don't quit and you declare what the Lord said. Hey, Regina, how you doing, beautiful? It's time, and it's up to us to do it. So I challenge you, make a decision for you. Make a decision for you, and let's get it. Listen, you guys, I pray this word has blessed you. I pray that it's encouraged you. I pray that it's strengthened you. I pray that it's given you the necessary boost you needed to make a change in your life. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed. Mwah.